다들이 치즈기 튼 다들이 도심기 치 튼타만 차리야래 가상 담바 세비미나 도심기 치들이야나 니마 숨기 뒤즈르치 쇠야래 이내야 안남규 차게 먼저 소초에 니마 송게 되지요 인주산에 안 도심래 니마 송게 되지어요 알아 이내양 달로 다 미세 캡지 걸루르부지 시월시보다 안 접지 보가르부지 시월시보다 나버니게 공조도 뜻뒤인체 담배 취기 최배 취도 너는 지식 근주기 다 왕으로도 샤 게 최시수업의 인주산에 안에 두지 님의 지디야 응원으로 체제 지식 근주 나르야 근데 당발에 제마다 유중물이 차르도 내 디규전 때네 아들이 치료 예전 주밀에 도서 치디 아들이 치료 살고요 하래.
This afternoon is our last session in the instructions on Vajrasttva. Originally, the plan had been to give 3 days to these instructions, as normally we set 3 days aside for the teachings. But this year, because it is the anniversary of Kyabje Kalu Rinpoche and Kyabje Boka Rinpoche passing into Nirvana, we had the empowerments of knowing one free all as in a manner of an offering of the true Dharma. And so, for that reason, we had to shorten the instructions by 1 day. We have fewer days for the instructions, otherwise the whole event would have taken too long. And so for that reason, this afternoon, we need to finish the instructions on Vajrasttva from the Torch of True Meaning.
다들 당분간이야 예전 주민을 예배 지게도가 자산 사라지지 맞은 동기.
And so for that reason, first I will just recite all of the instructions as they are written in the Torch of True Meaning.
어디 제리야 다나 셔베 최 미럽듯이 모두 주의.
Following that, we will continue the discussion of the visualization from this morning.
대한 예바 상신배나 집회도 저디 대배사배도 유규 출연 좀 봐. 마상으로 껴도시베 시엔라 메신 저나 미페와 톱총도 저디 대배 타동바 시차. 대디도 여샤타부 디종게 탑라. 저나 디동 zen에 창와라 책미 대한 탑케베시나 디바 나리게 게와 나리게 디베 풍부심을 좀니 다게 예반 디더버 쳐서 시에반은 퇴화이나 대란 여바 차베스 동화의 제반에 샤고이 예바 대담 미데반 나라 초도 못 살신 그바다제 라니 예버체베 심 shum신 못사 송브르마의 고네 케남지 투제의 공데 렌디 타버제도 수시 닝타반의 제반에 샤고이 퇴이 대양 아르세기 디발라 콩도 두통하다 유심 잡고 넘버 수집에 또 신체 소라바기 제리냠베 domsim 잡고 예발 라르도베 또 겹서도다 섬게바 땡기 또 님보 고투도 잡아서 디종을 미니 계획서 진주 주바 님보 군도 제베 또디 또시 창고.
Starting on page 51. Furthermore, if you hide your wrongs and keep them secret, they will grow more and more powerful. That is combining the seed of misdeeds with the water and fertilizer of deception. If you do not conceal your faults, but recognize them and admit them openly to others, they will not increase, but will weaken instead. The truth brings it to a close, it is said. If in addition you apply yourself to the methods of purifying misdeeds with deep regret and confession, you will have no difficulty purifying misdeeds and downfalls completely. Furthermore, if embraced by skillful means, even a single virtue can overcome a great heap of wrongs. To say, I did this wrong, is to admit it. To have intense regret and mental anguish about it is confession. The meaning of confession is that you are disheartened and ashamed by the wrongs you have done, and say from the depths of your heart with great admiration and respect to those who have not committed such wrongs, think of me with compassion. I pray that you purify this karma. For this, the 4 powers must be fulfilled. The power of remorse is to have such intense regret toward former misdeeds that you feel as sorry as if you had drunk poison. The power of turning away from wrongs is to have a mind that firmly resolves to never do that harmful action again, even if your life is at stake. The power of support is to go for refuge and generate bodhicitta. The power of applying the antidote is to accomplish whatever virtue you can, such as the 6 methods of remedy and so forth, with the intention of purifying misdeeds.
gyapsim tobe lomangbu shakpa cheba leya wanguru tobe niji shakpa chebe digban daksab chebe tengi tok kone kondo chodo gyube chiro.
If you do not regret what you have done and just go through the motions of confession, your misdeeds will not be purified. If you lack the resolve to never do them again, all the confession and virtues you do will be pointless. A single confession by someone who has authentically taken refuge and developed bodhicitta has more power to purify negative actions than 100,000 confessions by someone who has neither taken refuge nor developed bodhicitta. One day of confession by someone who has received empowerment purifies more negative actions than years of confession by someone who has only received the refuge and bodhisattva vows. This is because the powers of support are progressively higher.
Digbada gewe pegela ndi ringde nyembo gochu ni eba me mela minjugwa so ledip jongla chedonga be sangge chasimgi chen sungshin xianla zhaba da jik gusu libam chöden xingba de ni diensumla cheba da gindu la yenguru menje cheba sanga la shubi kingor dan kholu cheba kebralama la nyeba nabangye cheba da sum xijin da tandoso yawe sumbe nugu kadyenru cheba da shi tishishibe ige de gunri minjugo soge sunga saman dawa danga tishishibe nyibul icheshin damebe tyongomde jangje dirib jongje hanga jongken rangji kursum mingmengando lada shi dungni samine jur ngösam jitun deme gyumadabi dumba gomba da chukde teda kaya rungwa reyam nela sona digbe gyunde chi chimbre chwe jong nu gyam derib nguishi chaka chimbe nyamdo gyawala pardo chwebe dirib rakpa chedo jongwe tuyendu dosim gomde tenpa yin.
Misdeeds and virtues are magnified in the same way as well. There are 6 methods of remedy. 1. Memorizing the names of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas specifically praised for their ability to purify obscurations, such as Amitabha, the Medicine Buddha, and Akshobhya, and reciting them to others. 2. Fashioning statues, texts, and stupas. 3. Presenting offerings to those 3 representations, serving the Sangha, offering mandalas and ganachakras if a Vajrayana practitioner, and especially practicing the 5 methods of pleasing the Guru. 4. Reading the sutras and tantras taught by the victors, such as the Prajnaparamita Sutras and the Sutra of Great Liberation. 5. Reciting profound dharinis, such as the 100-syllable mantra of the Tathagata or the mantras of Sarvavid, Akshobhya, and so forth. 6. Having confidence in Buddha nature and meditating on the meaning of selflessness. Devote yourself to resting in a state free of focus on the 3 spheres, the misdeeds and obscurations to be purified, the deity and mantra that purify, and yourself, the person purifying. And meditate on either the actual profound yoga or the attitude compatible with it, that all things are unreal, like an illusion. Although any of these, if practiced effectively, is capable of completely purifying the causes and results of wrongdoing, the meditation and recitation of Vajrasttva is taught here in order to swiftly purify coarse misdeeds and obscurations that obstruct the arising of experience and realization in the main practice of Mahamudra.
상하게 탐지 시행계와다 porta kulu seba soge nyamnyong ngario dip sardo migiwe kikchebe tenam jongala dorsim igen dikona tabranga 조지 송래 상아지 니동 참모망보 다도 빼나 사초 뉴체사시도 면제 치디 샤나 대르 대테마다 뉴기 갱바단 자수 오나 람규레 계획 두명함 시베 연계 상아 탑게지 망웨 니동 참모망보야 탑나리 깨지기 다버린 유루손에 이게 검대 개바시나 现在那个的他都给偏远生计偏远八度面吧生意预定那么经济的送不听也兄人都论中呢七个多
The misdeeds and obscurations we have accumulated in this life obscure experience the most because they are so recent. In particular, violations of the three types of vows, and especially violations of the samaya of the Guru's body, speech, and mind, are extremely grave wrongs and downfalls. Violating other samayas of the secret mantra, such as unethical use of the Sangha's possessions and offerings to the Gurus, also obscures previous experiences and prevents new ones from arising. That is why the 100-syllable mantra of Vajrasttva is renowned as the best way to purify all of these. Lord Atisha said, "Minor infractions and downfalls of the secret mantra vows constantly occur. For example, it is like cleaning a mandala plate and setting it down in an extremely dusty place. It is immediately covered in dust anew." Well then, someone asked, will there never be a time when the path arises in our beings? But, he replied, the secret mantra has many skillful methods, so just a single one can purify many subtle infractions and downfalls in an instant. He then gave them the long recitation practice of the 100 syllables. Furthermore, the tantras of the ancient and new translation are unanimous in saying that it has immeasurable short-term and ultimate benefits. This point is encapsulated in one Indian text.
주진기는 장이 상계군이 gem바에 세다. 가시 이기 잡아서 주민치와 니다 내다 양의 미중 가시 이기 잡아서 위도 동의 소민중 다남기는 세버죠. 다남장의 세버죠. 대바탐제 rab드로 가시 이기 잡아서 분두변의 분이지 논두변의 노토죠. 유메반의 요름죠. 가디 시링 세네 링전의 이기 잡아 장화자. 세세 교반 대화네. 로네 숨겨 처리죠. 센데 대왕 교화다 10회 대화 제대로 가시 이기 잡아지 칸로 중보로란다 집진탄의 지식이 세월 제바 민유소 동아체다 대남지 상경에버 통하죠 상아 이기 잔되나 룸볼론의 핑줄라 갱의 남자 겐den주 줄다 동의 남버지 참행하다 대바 이기 야대 장어르교 깨와 대다도 콜르규의 르젠교 탄네 타브르 셔주 이상계인 토버규 예소
Dharanis, mantras, mudras, building stupas and mandalas do not possess such merit as a single 100 syllables, the pervasive Lord and 5 wisdoms in nature. The merit of someone who recites the 100 syllables properly is ornamented by all the Buddhas who are as numerous as atoms. Furthermore, those who know the 100 syllables will not experience untimely death, disease, or sorrow. Those who know the 100 syllables will not see poverty, suffering, and so forth. Their enemies will disappear, and all their wishes will be fulfilled. Knowing the 100 syllables, those who want a son will have one. Those who want wealth will gain it. Those without a homeland will gain one. Those who desire long life should memorize the 100 syllables. Those whose life force is depleted will easily live 300 years. They will be happy in this life and go to Sukhavati after death. Those who know the 100 syllables cannot be harmed by dakinis, spirits, zombies, or the Buddhas who cause fits or amnesia. Even those who committed a great downfall will definitely see the Buddha. By reciting the 100 syllables of secret mantra, fools will gain intelligence and the unfortunate will gain fortune. Disaster and suffering will be eradicated. Even perpetrators of the 5 heinous deeds can be purified by reciting the 100 syllables. In lifetime after lifetime, they'll be born in emperors' families. Eventually, they'll be liberated and achieve Buddhahood itself.
딜러 쥐는 이동 참모들 지구는 자원낸다. 전부는 미비 신고년의 림기 참을 유루스. 지를 렌데를 이체시. 이체시 깨나 디바는 제겨봐 미기에 텀에 대자나 샤고 천대 시오 디 유타는 냠도 미기에 텀이나요. 양 라르는 자세 차세기 제주 된배 카체 잠네 이체는 겨봐 천대에
It is said that if you exert yourself at this, minor and moderate transgressions will be fully purified. Even major ones will not increase, they will be suppressed and gradually purified. Generally, if you develop a belief in karma and result, it will be impossible not to feel remorse for wrongdoing, and then your confession will be authentic. That will purify your being, and there will be no way not to develop experience and realization. But we just follow the customs of the monasteries and race through the recitation out of obligation without genuine belief or regret. The fact that experience and realization vie with turtle fur for rarity seems to come down to this. That completes the instructions on Vajrasttva found in the Torch of True Meaning, so that completes the transmission of these.
다 이게 가서 어디 엄마홍 이게 엄마홍 숨 가서 도 깨고 그래서 때 가라서나 아니디 가서디 자와라 지울라다 꾸도징어 이게 아가고 짐발라 송도징어 이게 아마고 투갈라 투도징어요 이거 홍팅가 니지 쯤바 공고요 아레스.
As we began this morning, when we visualize Vajrasttva, we should then, after we visualized Vajrasttva, we should visualize that in his 3 places there are the 3 Vajra essences of the body, speech, and mind, the letters Om, Ah, Hum. And the reason, or how we meditate, is that we visualize at the crown of his head there is the essence of the Vajra essence of the essence of the Vajra body, a white Om. The essence of the Vajra speech at his throat, a red Ah, and the essence of the Vajra mind, a blue Hum, at his heart.
두개 홍디 이제 가수에 두개 도갈다 홍지 지난 디나세르 샤비미나 얘네들이 송도 가사디 내숨도야 주숨 되네 되네야 두개기 매셔서만 다 들려야 가수에 주숨 좀도 마스비야 두개 매셔들이야 나왜 긴거로 띵도 다 홍이 가고 드니지 바지 공고 맨로 대바지 공고 이스레 두개 참여라.
Now, in visualizing the Hum at the heart, it is as it is explained here. It says his 3 places are marked by the 3 seed syllables. And then in the lower part of his heart, on a lotus and moon seat, is a white Hum. So the white Hum is in the lower part of the heart.
Dene Bemajicom, Tambo Bemajicom, Didena, Ninjung Samba Swing Survey, Little Bemajicom, Didin Guzu Chanjukism Sunjam, Dawan Carbojicom, Didin Tundam Chanjukism Sujela, Dojigabo Zengava, Deligicom, that the Dojigabo Gomna Dojigabo Magomna, that Gandra Hung Carbojicom, the Pajigire. 투니즈메베 20천제기다 진짜 가지고 홍가버지고 다 텔레비전 트레이닝 다 20번째라고 있어요.
The moon is a symbol of relative bodhicitta, as I described before. So in essence, it is relative bodhicitta. In form, it is a white moon. And so first we visualize the lotus, which is a symbol of renunciation. Then on top of that, we have the moon as a symbol of, the white moon as a symbol of relative bodhicitta. And on top of that, we visualize a five-pronged Vajra, or not. It's okay to visualize it or not. It is also fine to just visualize the white letter Hum. And this white syllable Hum is a symbol of the non-dual wisdom of the Buddhas. Then we imagine that light radiates from this and invites the wisdom deities.
다마시레 디 홍가버디 타고로도 응진 거야지 아래 다디 제르시는 디스레.
And now around the white hum there is also the mantra garland, which I will explain later.
다 왜디 포네 왜디 포단디 니마 셔리젤이야 샤르용의 거리야 샤르게 주유젤이 니마 샤르용의 거리야 아니지 서시 탐제 외기 캬바차바 난신기 오여스르데 페마타도 초준지는 게 감탐지 캡스냐베 배바체.
And then the light radiates out and strikes everything. And the way it radiates is like when the sun rises at dawn. As the sun comes over the mountains at dawn, its light fills everywhere. Similarly, we visualize that the light radiates out and fills all of the world realms in the 10 directions.
다 되라야 가르치려고 디기 외스르데 초주기 지딘 감 람점의 수비 야와서다 제베 다 투걸 포버점기 안 데르비 야와서다 제바 탐지 런이기 디버종에 런이 제수 잡았다 디버종에 셔도 도지선배게 남발이야 최네 안 카와 부유수바는 신기 다 카와 바바도 부유수스르잖아 롱겨야 저러다 카와 부유수바는 신기 듣는 가르쳐를 배 상가를 제제 딱 간다 배섬 유미해봐 근데 주편에 에너지 가르쳐야 오 팀스 사브라니 가르쳐야 민주분 가르쳐야 돼. 도시선 몇 넘버 세워 될 팀스 사브라 메바시고 있으래.
The light radiates out to all of the universes and all the world realms in the 10 directions, and it strikes all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas in those realms. The moment it strikes them, then in order to accept you as their student, and in order to purify your misdeeds and obscurations, then they come like snow in a blizzard. So snowflakes in a blizzard, the blizzard means like there's a lot of wind. So they're all in a swirling blizzard. This means that they're really like they're crowding and rushing to come to you. And so they all come and then they dissolve into the form of Vajrasttva that you are visualizing.
어다 딘데 팀네 군조 군듀기 원래 쇼송 삼바르지 다 군조 군듀기 등이야 다 가사 찍으면 도지 셈바스다 사 찍으면 사 탐진 뒤에 넘버 되네 도지 셈베 넘버이나 뭐 되네 야와 탐진 뒤에 등이 야와 탐진 뒤에 뭐 딘데지 주도 삼바르들 몇 번째 하고 다 띵에 가장 어디 쉬는 신기 쉬지 계속 모르셔.
And so when they dissolve into him, then he becomes like the embodiment of all of the victors, the embodiment of all the Buddhas. And so in this way, he is not just one deity, but he is all of the deities. In form, he is Vajrasttva, but in his essence, he has the character of all the Buddhas, the essence of all the Buddhas. And so, as I mentioned yesterday, this is extremely important.
단 디나로야 이시베 젠창의 띵바마도베 데라 원구르게데 차 치그나네 세브 송메베 인두사네 다 슈모와 제산트문로.
Now here in the instructions, it mentions that they dissolve into the into him, but they do not talk about granting an empowerment, and so I will not discuss that.
대한민국 왕구르직 치주산에 에네베 드마타 사조와 텔레 우마 매직 라버레스 왕구르고 칸트마타 사지 디가르데 아무라다 트마타 세데산에 라마질 라버레스 도지 셈바라 트마타 규지에나 도지 셈발 데네 딕둡 칸데 종고레스 라레스 텔라마티 담냠 큐 파송 나딜라레스 데디 기즈조르.
When we talk about bestowing the empowerment, then there's the phrase in the empowerment that reads, "His body is filled, his stains are purified." And so once there was someone who came to see a lama and said, well, when we visualize giving an empowerment to Vajrasttva, his stains are being purified. And if he's got stains, then how can he purify anyone else's stains? And the lama said, hey, you've broken Samaya, get out of here.
다디 거수 마바브레다 지당기 나다디 시험하지 이제 티나면 시험하지 다드네 디버죠 선립시야 자의 손입니다.
Next is the supplication to purify your misdeeds and obscurations.
다 디버죠 사다비 거리야 rani thame be namba chini ya bara ta da delia thame be namba chi ye be indusane rangen dundo sendi phama yang kashi sane ji ye da yuan la pha da ma de yin yuan la pha go ya ji yong gu du yang kashi ge ne be zha khoran dun sha ji yong gu du ta gar che ji ne ji sar pha ji de na dian dian de ji ga min do wa ti kashi nan ji ge 파도마 예를 보면 이제 같이 안 자든 뒤는 거면 좀 먹으시도 다 강다량 자외 파다마 소르 규베 잔인 바람에 심제 탐지기 타고는 이유 삼바지 다 심제 탐지 세두산에 다 디나로라 로르로 탐지 뒤뒤 아래 로르로 탐지 뒤뒤산에 아니 둔주도 뒤뒤 아래 둔주도 뒤뒤산 뭐뭐 무슨 탐지 뒤뒤어봐 뭐뭐 무슨 탐지 뒤뒤 뭐뭐 무슨 짓이 차가래 세워서 저러다 미망 못했대 마디에는 저러다 누샤 그랬더 년대가 삼다 무강결하게 차가래 고야랑도 말아 드린두자나 겁들이야 심지어 탐지 별 둔주리 주바 탐지 때니 가르쳐요 미루 된데 교니 미 된제도 교니 때는 차차 저 비자 우리 책에서 매버체 된데체 차대 양코로 미세게야 전도된 답이 미 우리 된데 교회 양코 된지를 디가로 된면로 어떻게 인도산에 된지 공고유에서 송고야래.
Now, when we are supplicating, we visualize ourselves in our ordinary form. And then we imagine that in front of ourselves are our parents from this life. So actually, there are different versions and different instructions. Some say that you visualize them to your right and left and visualize your enemies in front of you. And that's also fine. It's not necessarily fixed what you need to do. In some instructions, you say that you visualize your parents to your right and left, or your enemies in front, and so forth. Whichever you do is fine. In any case, you visualize that you're surrounded by all sentient beings, with your parents of this life first and foremost. So you're surrounded by enemies, friends, and all those in between. Now, when we say all sentient beings, this of course includes all 6 classes of beings, and that means that it also includes the animals. And when we talk about including animals, then this means that it also includes bugs and parasites. And when you start thinking about bugs and parasites surrounding us, then we start wondering, how is it that bugs and parasites can prostrate? Like if you have a worm can't even stand up. So how could a worm possibly do a prostration? So for that reason, when we visualize the animal, we imagine that they all become human in form. They have human bodies, and then that they prostrate and make the offerings. And if we visualize in this way, I think it also becomes like a connection for all the animals to also later achieve human bodies.
다 차세단이야. 다당한 주지 차세단, 배배의 차세단. 다는 신 개규 자나게 표균난데 차세단, 개규난데 차세단 대주. 당하나 주기 유롱배 검수 수수고 롱배 검수 투모만 임베르 진사람한테 야가 차르 데 인사 말해 오마디 로비 이징디 탕게 로비 로자 이징디 야가 주두사나 고주 차세두사네 차르르 지도 야랑 마데 저로 나가서 로셀 차르르 야랑 안지야마 야라 시살팝 지거로 봐 대치두산 야가르도 개모쇼 고수들 비무지 마쭉 다가라니야 하르소레마 구구치야마 야랑아 되면도 비규 난데 제규 난데 되어 때 고수 기모션 다 고수 기모션아 제바면도 다 가다지 그바 이나 단지도 어로다 인지민지디 가르소다 제바스금 딱 한달 가리면에 진짜 레샤 당마디 이제 어다 네인 비싸네 간다야 룽아 예수 그베고는 차차다. 다나질 하벌도 끔들이야. 되는 응아르지기 디발라. 베데 코베나로 독송하다고. 독지 쇼르송나. 다 심데 시브지 예심 슉 타고 시브지 연구로 봐. 아드레인 주산에 진짜 그거는 응아르지기 디발라. 콩도 독송하다고 이제 봐. 친지 배 솔라파는 디베기 배 가서 디베레다 탐지 류당하라베 락렌트도 파세레 꾸노 잠이야 디베드즈 가서 꾸노 잠이야 미교아 거기 이냐면 진짜게 톱니보데 상에 거네 소수 운제 체네 소수 운제를 체네 심지어 탐지 딘지도 되네
Now, in terms of the manners of prostrating, there's the Tibetan way of prostrating, there's also the Chinese way of prostrating, but it seems that these are actually particular ways of prostrating for each particular country. And these aren't the Indian way of prostrating. There was a Chinese translator named I Ching who went to India during the Tang Dynasty. And when the Tibetans were prostrating, then...
Chinese.
When the Chinese prostrated at that time, then they would stand up and then bow down, touch all 4 limbs to the ground, and then get back up and bow down again. And the Indians started laughing at them because in India they didn't get up. They just kneel on the ground and then bow down to the ground as a sign of respect. So it's not like we do in Tibet where you stand up and they bow down and then stand all the way back up. They don't do that. At any case, you can visualize the prostrations in any manner. What's fine is if you have respect, then that is fine. And so you prostrate with your body, speech, and mind. And in particular here, you make the recite the supplication where you regret your past misdeeds as intensely as if you had drunk poison. So if you swallow poison, you regret it really intensely. And so you regret it intensely like that, and then also you have the resolve that even at the risk of your own life, you will never do such misdeeds again. This is not just not merely doing them with your body and speech. It is also the strong desire to stop yourself from even having the motivation in your mind, to not allow yourself to be moved by that motivation, to block that entirely. And so if you do this, then the first two of the four powers are complete. And so imagining in this way, then you as the chantmaster lead all of the, you as the umze or chantmaster lead all sentient beings in reciting a supplication to purify misdeeds.
도시 선바티니 투지 신비 상황도 교배 임베 떡기 상황도 교배 임베 견생기 되네 저도 가르쳐다지 꿀리 뒤지 균총 안랑게 쇼는 마쇼는 뒤지 균지 류디 나탐지 강네 에너지 가르쳐 다게 티 나는 숨바단 신거 미세게지 지기 야 딕딥 정화라 야 그런지 디바다 디바 탐지 낙상 두고 대비 나바사로 다가나 신기 내기를 탐지 이나 아니지 낙사가 남바다보다 된 둥기 기르기 임비나 되는지 야디스 젠생기 심징이 남바다고 디발라서베 심징이 남바다고 다 진짜가 거는 가스레 지 베네 플러드 섬으로 출로주고 나시 다 진짜베 가스레 수수기 지 법이 부가당 다가는 오고네마 퇴네 상게 타송 냠버라고 진짜기 가르쳐 미버체과 이버자
Just by supplicating, because Vajrasttva is controlled or overwhelmed by his compassion, then nectar, wisdom nectar, begins to flow from his body. It enters you through the crown of your head and fills your body. And as it fills your body, it purifies you of your misdeeds and obscurations. In the instructions, it describes how you visualize for the specific types of obstructions. You visualize that all of your past misdeeds and obscurations are carried out of your body in the form of soot and sludge. All of the different illnesses are carried out of your body in the form of pus, blood, and lymph. And all the duns, the spirits that cause sickness, are cleansed from you in the form of parasites and filth. And so these all exit you, and it's like there's a big rush, a big flood of all of them leaving your body, exiting you through all of your pores and through your lower orifices. And you visualize that you have been cleansed and purified.
텔레야 당행에 고도시바는 신기 토게기 메샬이 홍이 까르보 디 홍이 까르보 디 타거도 이기 갸뱅아 이기 갸뱅아 나기 총아 까르보 나고 치르덴바 단 나게 동디 치러를 봐 된대봐 근데 체 나고 치돌 된대봐 유니즘 예골 주의키와 남신기 다들이 이제 공부이스래 드레인들이 뒤진 법장 지하디 조디 투게 앙고르텔리 뒤지밥 앙고르텔리 뒤지기바 원이 이시 발라 남반이 뒤지 남바 뒤지 가르베 남바 되게 도지스템베기 루기 나 감지 강네 마숑을지도 말류윤도 샵기 태보는 마 규네 그랑게 지오는 마쇼들이지 가서래 아니면 버차이스래.
As I mentioned said before, the white letter home in Vajrasattva's heart is surrounded by the mantra garland. These are the 100 syllables that surrounding the letter home. And this mantra garland is white in color. The letters face outward, and they go around it clockwise, go around the syllable hung clockwise, like the coils of a snake. And so they begin in front and go around. Now, the nectar flows from these, and so the nectar primarily begins at flowing from the mantra. And the nectar itself is, in essence, it is wisdom. In form, it is the white Amrita nectar. It completely fills Vajrasattva's body, and then, because no more will fit, it begins pouring out of him through his big toe, and then from his big toe, it enters you through the crown of your head.
lui da mizawa thamje wangchen sergi sashil ma tim wangchen sergi sashil ma tim yin ju sane arinji tando chi khashe na wangchen sergi sashil ma sashi sup dine ma tim ne arinji sashi wala ya rangi tsere ungen ge lencha ge de ji ne pulwen cha be simjen dang ji dunggi dang yang ji tsere ngor de be yin shinji la so ba di ju 가르쳐야 되지 구zul이야 구줄 가난도 친소삼바 안 되게 되지 침니 정말로다 렌차 되게 됐다 오늘 좀 불륜 쳐서 삼바로지 다 간다 되지 삼 동안 들 망고 싶도와 다 디너 미선 디나 자 송도와 좀 삼다나 저기기로 봐
Then all of this filth leaves your body in the form, leaves your body, and it dissolves into the powerful golden earth below you. Now, some instructions say here that you should visualize that then you can visualize that there are beings in the earth that it dissolves into, that there are the karmic creditors, the people from whom you have karmic debts in past, all of the spirits and so forth. And you imagine that it flows down and it goes into their mouths. As it goes into their mouths, you imagine that you have paid off all of your karmic debts from the past. Although this is not specifically said here, I think it is okay to visualize this as well.
Tene ishigi duzi rani ge lu khane chu lama ya lu be chu ya lu ne ju ge doji sembege ene shabgi thebon la riversam.
Then your body then the wisdom nectar fills your body, and as it does so, then the excess overflows from your body and touches Vajrasattva's toe. And you need to visualize this over and over again.
풍대에서야 여러 풍대에서야 가라서나 닝갈래야 에너지 딕립 탐지 닝갈래야 나풍이 여고 검 텔레야 되네 가수래 야 두지 gün기 가수래 두지 gün디 텔라 포과점 기배 가수래 나풍한테 다 떠르니 아니 매워서들 풍대에서 하는데 치 가시나 되는데 다 됐어. 지난주도 마찬가지도 간다 개미도 다 간다 드시 미버 제다망고 주시래.
Now there are various descriptions in various instruction manuals. Sometimes it's said that you visualize the nectar flowing you from the top to the bottom. Sometimes you imagine going from bottom to top. There's also a visualization of the mass of the obscurations. You imagine that all of your misdeeds and obscurations are gathered in a black sooty mass in your heart, and that the nectar touches them, and at that moment they are all dispersed. And so that is the visualization of the mass of the mass of misdeeds. And so these are various different visualizations that you may do or not as you like.
다드네 타마들이야 전에 테모자네 공부다는 미시 뭔가 이 라스와베기 샌딥체 제바다 냠도 지위라마 도지스바데 투게베스 현좀바다젠 어다 교랑게 디지털이 니마 다리네 손데 ane 타과 인노 체제 드리지기 가르쳐 마시 우용 사람들이 encourage 사람들 다지 생대 우용 생대 전에 아니데 주위라마도 지sem바데 랑 팀비 에너지 라마도 정이 랑데 룽아 예수나 라마도 지sem비 구송도 예르마지베 교송 냠뱅아네 디디지기 지 나리아 제니 마제바라 냠바샤 데리죠.
At the end, you then join your palms and you supplicate Vajrasttva to Vajrasttva, out of ignorant delusion I have committed wrongs and so forth. And so you recite this, and then Vajrasttva is pleased with you. And Vajrasttva then says, your misdeeds...
Smile.
He smiles at you and he says that all of your misdeeds and obscurations have been purified. And so he encourages you and he praises you at this point. And then you visualize that Vajrasttva dissolves into you, and you imagine that your own body, speech, and mind become inseparable from Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind. And then you rest within that for a few moments without altering it.
가장디 왕구두산에 구송도 예매의 교르 구송도 예매의 교스 망보지 아주 망보지 라브레 지두산 같이 삼르지 거스 구송도 예매 교사데 레라버지 자와니들 다디 체럽도만 토부주지 랑글 룽아이스 라 야메나네 다 소소 타버쳐 야메나네 딱 간다 하디 나란다버지 콘로 차보 아제 차보 타도 차보 주나들이 열마지베 찬로야지 용거로와 야나 소소 콘로 메방 아제 메바 하딜 아니 콘로 메방 아제 메바 나시지 소소 차고 대마차 발래야 아니 소소는 녀몽이 본 거지 라 녀몽 가서 차도 메방 아제 메베 하지 아제다 차도 공부질리바 팀니 예매도 주서 깔아가버려 then you that se tobo jresha draz di ma tim zon sam ten de yeme de kuzu jigi gije yimarwada.
Over the last few days during the empowerments, it was said over and over again that your body, speech, and mind become inseparable from the body, speech, and mind of the deity. We recited this a lot, and as we did so, I thought, this isn't so very easy. How is it that we can become inseparable from the body, speech, and mind of the deity? I think that this is a rather high threshold because if this is going to work, either you have to be completely purified yourself, or the deity has to become someone like yourself, someone like me who is angry, prideful, and envious. And then we could become inseparable. So either we have to become pure and be free of all pride and envy and so forth, or the deity would have to become angry and envious and prideful, just as we are. We ourselves have the afflictions, and so then the deity would also have to have the afflictions. So if we think that we are then going to be free of the pride and the jealousy and so forth, and the deity dissolves into us, then that is a rather high threshold for this. In any case, it's not really enough just to think that the deity dissolves into you.
구송토기를 신사람도 단도나지 상기기 정신 넘버타베 구송토 정신 넘버타베 차다 심진기 유기 룽아이스 넘버 정신 넘버타베 차니 고 상해다 토메다 다는 신기 장조의 여명 지구차 드린 디규전 때네 아니 상기기 정신 상기를 니테 정신 넘버타베 차대다 랑이기 주 룽아이스 정신 넘버타베 차대 오예메 인라 인신도 당번에 인바차르마다 민바지 인바차 기저마미세 인라 인신도디 오예메리 출을 추샤와도 다들 교송삼을 진짜긴 알아야더니 제주에면 지 아주나주 그 최계래야 탐매비 씨바 탐매기 씨바사죠 삼삼 탐매기 씨바사야지 koalendara machine to Kensara, Tadegi, Carso Sim, Namdo Rabakorandia, Tamegi Shiba. When it's a Tamegi Shiba said, Majeba, Tamebam, Kada Sojugi, Malebe, Chuni, Telko, your mother, Shibara, one Namdora, what day? Aina something, need to stand on the Maju Malebe on other Suzuki, Simji, Chuni, Ta, Chini. 타 전니니 가지지 타니버 채토나 대주지 타니버 채토야지 리지기 가서 중세지 비행하는 냠버샤도 세비미나 다디 아니지 가서에 다디 동이 냠내들 같이 차들면로 안드레이드 하고 있어서
The main point here is that the nature of your body, the nature of the deity's body, speech, and mind is the pure aspect of the nature of a Buddha. And this is the same as the utterly pure nature of the body, speech, and mind of sentient beings. There is no distinction in terms of good and bad, high and low, between the natures of the body, speech, and mind of a Buddha and the natures of the body, speech, and mind of sentient beings. And so the pure nature of the Buddha is just the same as the pure nature of our own body, speech, and minds. And knowing this to be so, recognizing our own nature to be as it is, then we visualize that they become this, that they dissolve. Then we visualize that they mix like pouring water into water, knowing that this is the nature. And when we do this, then we do not need to modify this. We do not need to alter it or adulterate it in any way. And so in the Kagyu tradition, we have our own particular terminology. We say the ordinary mind. And when we say the ordinary mind, if we do not know how to understand that properly, then it can sound like a very strange term. Usually, you might think that all of the coarse thoughts and coarse cognitions you have in your mind are ordinary mind, but that's not what we mean here. Here, the ordinary mind means that you don't alter the mind, you don't change it, you don't adulterate it in any way. It is the unadulterated nature of the mind. It does not mean the coarse thoughts and cognitions. And so what it means is that we rest without changing it, without adulterating it, contriving it in any way. And so here, that is what we try to do. We try to get as close to this as we can. We try to approach this as closely as we can. And then you rest within this for a short while. And if you do this, then I think it becomes a practice of emptiness and is good.
gom mugube nyamne chemugo gom mugube chüch na yorvesta gom jedukale shutu tne gom mugube nyamne chemugo chüch na yone na rochis te yorese shindu ne yesa hade never the yores ina yang e chorana gom mugube gi tamwa jetena chorangi nyamne chiju yemen ta gom gomju yemen ta gara ma ta tga sha sha ma ro gom 근데 인도스탄에 네 교란을 곰미급이 냠내데 되나요? 교란기 곰미급이 냠내데 곰미급이 제시만. 곰주임에 다 냠내 지주임에 다 드니 인도 교란 곰미급이 당와 교란을 되나 편동만. 어디서로지? 알아서 제주 많단 곰사디 깔레카부 예베데 오늘은 고란 깔레카부 예네 곰자마시바 인당 야나 렐라타는 곰자마시바 인사나 kallet katan gom jamasi ba mares lama ko mano tidesu le latan gomasi ma zu simjin di jeju mangchan zhongdo la lo kong ba indusane da kyorang one lulu chi ane di karso da ji lulu chi de se bisan su tamra ta ro cup job in this time image the jar luluchi take it easy and just to tam liang do go ngara chat do the diesel nijimta that thing that them shem ta na kwadron do kimam do.
There was someone who once came to the third Karmapa Rangjun Dorje and who said, meditation is far too difficult for me. Is there some practice that you can do without meditating? Rangjung Dorje replied to him, of course there is. Most certainly. There of course is a practice that you can do without meditating. But if I give it to you, you have to check it out to see really whether it's true that you don't have to meditate or not. If you don't go through the effort of trying it, you won't find out whether you need the meditation. So before I give it to you, you need to see whether you need to meditate or not. Otherwise, if I give you this instruction, it will not be of any benefit to you. And so it is like this. Basically, we ordinary beings, we do too much in our minds. We contrive too many things in our minds. And for that reason, when we come to meditating, is it because when we don't know how to meditate, is this because meditation is too difficult? Or is it because meditation is too easy? It's not because meditation is too difficult. The great masters of the past have said instead it's because meditation is far too easy. And yet we, ordinary sentient beings, we contrive too many things. We try to change and alter things in our minds too heavy. We are always exaggerating things or denying them. And so it's like when you're told to just sit and be loose, then we're not able to do it. When someone says to you, relax, then you immediately get tighter. When you're about to get a shot, then the doctor will say to you, just relax relax there. And then what happens? You immediately get more tense. And so it's like that. So now you can go to the restroom if you would like.
Oh
다 드린데 맘에 몰람기 제림 디토리 앞에베기 겹지를 무슨 남번이 다 다나 신기 러주게의 신예 엔 기누디바갸소 나는 세게 만도 삼을올이야 섬지듯이 슈아잉 당간이 미세 슈아스케민도 이나양 더리기 고급디 유이체 그 유모람 팀 순위 발이야 차례 낭에기 그 유모람 저리 수업하다 나는 신기 가르쳐다 그 유모람 수업을 배배기 긴디면 남아서 소단 다나 신기 라보라토야 지 사다른 문이 배배기 안 되는 상황으로야 이 투시 샤임 그런 쪽이 에네 참여기 지 처주님들 남발야電시 에네 그 유모람디 최다 튠바 다나 신기 통다 퍼슨 겨 야부 충분히 인도산에 이 간sol이야 제수이란다 투시 샤임 안에 전부는 내주디 지난 뉴주의 제벌이야 강에 먹을 체대요 아래 대인비네 아저기 제와당 면람디 못튀네 셈은 나로래야 요와매봐 때부치 대과 개좀 차대요 아래 가르레사나 베나 깨바 동지리야 왜 자는泡沫牛被杀烧几里呀？准备去开些，前边边呢，给我当个明白听，谁都不晓得要的。人就是啥呢？我就什么个，没那么认为准备的，我就给刚爱的东爱他们这社会给大家说越南的差的要的，这是第越南的那么样，那不是么有几次的需要赢，这里。최종 다 제고디 지 나도 직된베 지 파티 다 소르지 상이승의 제하로 드네면 바제 다디 인지기 awareness 나도 지면은 전부 시시 다가도 저 수수 셈리아 에너지 저와도 면람 상지 면람 그 드메 바라기 다 드메디 에네 모티브네 지 가르죠 저 숨겨 제하로 다들이 셔도 이번에 인도산은 참여 대신도 두개 나로나 슈아인 신당 알카 슈아메都现了善意。他们这个第一阶段我是说，马面的呢，东松的，东前部，这点看的，苦有当，伢不是就是，东部呢，人也不。르럽 잠도 겨르지 머구네 타이 가수 잠도 겨르지 장안에 상기에리 뇌도 통주르에리 종으로 겨르지 외기 시베 제몽 맨시에네 나르메베 냐와 연체기 머리베 문바탐제 살네 초주 상계당 전주선배 신감탐제 의숨도 통신 세월 교류지 May the ball of this lamp become equal to the outer ring of this world realm of the great 3,000. May its stem be the size of the King of the mountains,
Mount Meru, may its oil fill the surrounding oceans in number may 100 million appear before each and every Buddha. May its light dispel all the darkness of ignorance from the peak of existence to the incessant hell, and illumine all the pure realms of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of the 10 directions, so they are clearly seen. 愿灯具成为等同3000大千世界，愿灯柱仅成须弥山王，愿灯油仅成汪洋。此灯之数，一盏得现于每尊佛前。愿此光明消除三有顶以下无间地狱以上所有无明之黑暗。愿十方诸佛菩萨之净土皆得显明清界。Om Vajra Aloke Ahum Om Vajra Aloke Ahum Om Vajra Aloke Ahum.
愿诸佛齐加倍，慈悲关爱度众生，生命弘法大道场，时时与您相伴随。
各位菩萨，阿弥陀佛！打开生命电视，你就在道场里面，因为我们叫生命电视大道场。这个大道场在干嘛？慈悲所有的生命，放生、施食、超度、弘扬佛法，鼓励天神发菩提心，求三宝加持。所以愿各位随时打开生命电视台，进入生命大道场，关怀所有的生命。阿弥陀佛。
划拨账号19965232，19965232，户名生命文化基金会。